Okay, so what kind of situation do we currently have from an NZD CHF perspective? Now, on the daily time frame, we have clearly previous resistance here, which is turned support at this area. The market broke the zone to the upside, went for a retest of it. So the confluence of the previous resistance turned support, the confluence of the counter trend line, all lining up here. And in fact, the market did reject the area very aggressively, even if from the weekly time frame we definitely had some bearish price action, but this was extremely strong confluence of support at this area. If we go and see what we have from a weekly point of view, what do we have now on the weekly time frame? Clearly, from a weekly perspective, we have a market that is approaching a very major trend line, and we can definitely expect a shift away from this zone. Now, we don't only have the resistance that comes from the trend line at this area. In fact, we also have the resistance that comes from this strong supply area, or previous support here now turned resistance inside of this area. Anyway, from here, the market has shown in all of this move to the downside the only two green candles, so it's definitely an area in which the market likes to react. So where we have strong structure, a lot of orders, which in this case, since the market is coming from below, are sell orders. So we can expect a distribution inside of this area before a shift to the downside. Now, going back down on the daily time frame, we can see that currently the market definitely seems overextended to the upside, and we are currently inside of this area. However, if we go down on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that currently there is still no sign of weakness. The market is just impulsing to the upside without showing any sign of bearish price action, creating higher highs and higher lows. Everything is pushing to the upside. Now, if we go and see what we have from a COT perspective, so what hedge funds are currently doing on the NZD and on the CHF, what kind of situation we get. Now, if we go and see what we have from a CHF perspective, we can see that currently we are sitting at 8.9k net positions from the minus 3k net positions that we had. So basically, we went from having way more shorts than longs from an institutional perspective on the CHF to having more longs than shorts, with 13k longs at the moment and a 33.1% long exposure on the CHF. And if we go and see what we have from an NZD perspective, we can see that with the last report, a lot of longs have been added on the NZD. In fact, net positions have increased up to minus 12k, which is still pretty negative, but we have seen some proper longing on the NZD. But we must acknowledge that we still have way more shorts than longs, with a 58.5% short exposure. Going back to CHF, we have a situation in which we have a strong CHF. Hedge funds have added a lot of longs on the NZD, but we are still sitting at a negative net position, so more shorts than longs, with a 58% short exposure, as we have just seen. So how we will be approaching this with students? Obviously, at the moment, there is no way to be looking for any shorting opportunity. Everything is pushing to the upside, but we know that we are in a very strong resistance area. Therefore, we might see a distribution inside of this area and the market to start changing from a bullish market to a bearish market from a 4-hour perspective. And that is exactly what we will be waiting for with students. We will be waiting for the market to shift from a bullish market to a bearish market inside of this area, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for the move to the downside. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.